Hey, do you want to be my friend? I mean, come on, you can listen to me talk, you can hear my stories, I can hear your stories. We could hang out, we could chill. Wouldn't it just be so great?
I have a fear for the next generation. 6, 7, those people. Because there's a growing epidemic on kids or youngsters not having friends, not even having a best friend. We may, interact with people from day to day or interact with people online or social media, but a lot of youngsters don't even have a best friend. And while I'm not the person that, says that, oh, man, you have to have a best friend or friends to go about life. I think the older you get, when you're busy with family, with work, everything else, who has time to hang out? But it's something to say that we grow up from our adolescent up into our young adult years and we don't even have a single best friend. And the issue with mixing weed into that is that we get content with not having friends and become content with being alone. You are not alone. And as people, we do need human interaction. We do need day-to-day friendships. Now, I don't believe you will have probably 10 best friends in your life, but kids don't even have one best friend. And they're locking themselves in their basement, playing video games, watching porn, smoking weed, and never actually interacting with the real world and putting themselves out there. I tell my youngest son, friends, girlfriend, whatever, are not going to just come to your doorstep. You actually have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations or just like go places, go out, meet new people, just, be social. Relationships, some fail, and maybe 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 may actually develop into a lifelong friendship. But they don't want to do that. They want to sit at home, they say bed rot, and not take time out of their life to actually meet people in person. And it's interesting that, we started off being, like for most people from the 70s to up into the 2000s, it wasn't more of a social drug. Most people actually got high their first time with their friends, and you tend to have stoner friends and it becomes a pastime amongst your own group. But now when kids don't even hang out and they're still smoking weed, more weed than ever, because it's legal in so many other states and there's so many other ways to smoke or vape or dab or take an edible or take a pill or vape. Smoking is increasing, but friendships are decreasing. So in turn, people are replacing their friendships with weed. And again, you smoke weed for a long period of time, you get used to smoking, you get content with smoking, and smoking almost becomes your friend. Again, weed doesn't help your problems, it just temporarily masks your problems. So if you're depressed about being lonely, not having friends, you smoke weed, weed is not going to make you say, let me get up and go out here and meet people. You're going to say, it's okay, I'm cool, let me eat something, let me watch something, just stay here and bed rot.
He tried it.
And people might say, I don't bed rot, I smoke weed and I work it, I do things, I exercise, I work out. Whatever the case, it still promotes loneliness. And kids are starting out smoking weed by themselves. I always say weed has become an issue, maybe not an issue, but at this point it's become a vice in your life when you smoke by yourself. When I first started smoking, I was smoking with my friends, with my best friend. And I would say about 6 months in, I'm like, I actually want to smoke by myself on the back porch. And from then on, we became a part of my everyday life, just not a weekend thing.
Help me!
And when we insert these behaviors, these routines, these patterns in our life, and we don't actually go out and seek change and, again, meet people, put ourselves in different situations, try to be social, try to talk to people, try to meet people, we just, before we know it, we're 25, 30 years old, and we don't even know how to interact with friends.
Help me! Help me!
So don't let weed take the place of friendship. You know, weed can be great. We just wonder why. I get it. It helps you with anxiety, helps you with depression, it helps you sleep, helps you eat. I get it. I love weed. I have no beef with weed right now, but I do have beef with people and this growing trend of being alone and not meeting people. And again, I don't like people. I don't think you need to hang out with your friends every week when you're 30 years old. But I also don't think you should be 21 and you never actually hung out with just one friend. So put yourself out there. Put yourself in uncomfortable positions and don't let weed become your best friend. Don't let weed make you content with being alone, being in your basement, thinking to yourself, just meaning your own thoughts, but actually interact with real, human, face-to-face, physical people. So, what do you think, guys? Has weed replaced your friendships? Or do you smoke weed and have all kinds of friends? Again, I think the older smoker you are, we tend to, you know, we have had friends. But even in my case, I said, you know, where we started off as a social thing. Towards the end of my 20-year addiction to weed, I didn't want to smoke with people. I didn't want to smoke with my best friend who I first started smoking weed with. I just like to smoke by myself, keep basically my addiction to myself, and it kind of made me feel like I didn't have an addiction. But you know, my little girls calling my name. So until next time, guys, please like, subscribe, share. Most importantly, comment below. I would like to know what you think. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. Peace.